Well, first of all, what kind of mythical powers does a Sun Devil have? We got to consider that.
You all don't remember the Georgia Southern game, do you?
You know, I hope there's Bigfoot. I don't think there is.
Like rat poison. All right, so
It's Division I football! It ain't murals!
All right, welcome back to the Hoppy Huddle podcast. My name's Jake. That's Ed. And today we have got probably one of the most packed and just absolutely loaded shows that we've had all season. So much happened this weekend. There were so many insane games, so many crazy results and impactful things that happened. We've got coach firings. We've got coach not firings that are just as surprising as firings. We've got just a whole lot of scenarios that are going to impact the rest of the season and the rest of the sport for years to come. And man, this was a weekend.
Our opening talk has a quote from Mike Leach. I hope there's Bigfoot. I think Bigfoot's going to be a candidate for all these job openings, given how many of them there are.
Holy cow, dude!
And we're not even done yet. So,
yeah.
Crazy weekend. All right, let's before we get to all the results. I mean, let's talk about the big news over the weekend. Happened Sunday afternoon. As Nostradamus, I predicted this a month ago. I said it would happen on the bye week. It did.
Yep.
And your brother can put it down. He has it down. He remembers the day I said it. He wrote, Luke keeps receipts, and he had them.
Luke does
Billy
keep
Napier
the receipts.
He keeps receipts. That's one thing your brother's good for.
Yes, absolutely.
University of Florida fired Billy Napier yesterday. We all expected it. We talked about this for weeks. Not surprising at all. Press conference today was interesting. Scott Strickland basically said Billy was given a chance to change and hire an offensive coordinator. Once he did that, he was dead man walking if he didn't go 9-3. I mean, I'm summarizing.
Yeah.
That's kind of what the gist of it was. And he couldn't do it. And that was the end of it. Billy's seems like a great guy. Seems like a nice guy. He did a good job recruiting. He's the kind of guy I think you want to be a team leader. His downfall, as we've said this last year and we said it this year, is his inability to develop and call plays. Be an offensive coordinator and develop DJ Lagway. That's the failure.
I will say, like, this tenure at Florida, the results in the field were nowhere near what you expected. But I do think he did a lot of good for the Florida program, bringing them kicking and screaming into the modern era of college football. He got that new football facility built. He interacted and got more alignment in that program than that program had in a long time. It was absolute chaos.
That program is better off. The infrastructure is better now. It is well built.
Was completely disorganized under Dan Mullen.
Yes.
Nobody was running anything. There was no structure. He brought them into the NIL era eventually, finally. He modernized the recruiting operation. Their recruiting couldn't just be like we are Florida, like it was under or under everybody before them. Like he brought them to a level where now if they hire the right guy, it's not a total rebuild. Right.
It's built. They just now have to find a guy to run that offense.
The car is in the garage, and Billy Napier is a great mechanic. He's just not a great race car driver.
Yeah, exactly. And what I thought was interesting today, the interim coach Gonzalez basically said, "Yeah, we're going to do some things differently. You're not going to. I mean,
are we going to get a Terry Neuheisel situation here?
Yeah. I mean, this team can run 5 or 6 wins off. Who knows? I mean, you're not going to see wide receiver screens on 3rd and 10. You're not going to see pass plays on 3rd and 1. I think you're going to see a different look from the Gators the rest of the year. And I would not want to play this team the rest of the year if you're going to see a different look calling offense. Because these guys, listen, Vernell Brown, Dallas Wilson, you have talent on this team. Every coach in the SEC will admit that. So we're going to see what can happen. I wouldn't bet against this team the rest of the year. I think they could be dangerous out with actually some play. Now, again, it's midseason. How much can you really do? But I think some of the play calling is going to change. It'll be interesting to watch them. So,
I think so too.
Anyway, we started talking before we got on air about candidates. Everybody in the world's talking about it. Go ahead. Who do we think?
Okay, the candidate list is a single slip of paper and then a book in the corner, right? You've got the slip of paper and it says Lane Kiffin on it. He's got the visor. He's got the Florida vibe. He already coached at FAU in Florida. He just, he just kind of feels like the perfect fit. He's offensive guy. He's from the Saban tree. He knows how to recruit. He knows how to win. He's been everywhere. Do I need to really give you Lane Kiffin's resume? If you follow college football, not really. You know the story with Lane Kiffin. He's a totally different coach now than he was when he took the Tennessee job. I will say, I think this is not about money for Lane.
No.
I think Ole Miss will find somebody to match whatever Florida wants to pay in salary. And I don't even know if it will be that much of a pay bump. It will be a pay bump, but I don't know like by how much. That's for Jimmy Sexton to decide. But for Lane Kiffin, this is going to be about, do you think that there's unreached potential at Ole Miss? And you've done a lot of good at Ole Miss. You've brought that program more success than they've had in 50 years, right? You know, basically
Ever. This is the most. These last 4 years have been the most successful in their program history
since like the 50s, right? Didn't they win a national title in the 50s?
Did they? I don't know. We have to go back. That's before your time and my time.
But like basically in the modern era, he's the most successful that Ole Miss has ever been, right? But along with that, you have to think like, all right, they kind of haven't elevated that recruiting beyond the like 18 to 15 range. That seems kind of be their recruiting ceiling, right? And the way we know about how national titles and blue chip ratios work, like that's not really the way that you're going to be able to consistently build a national title contender. You kind of got to do that and then get lucky on quarterback and get lucky in the portal. And really last year was they got lucky at Jackson Dart was that guy at quarterback, right? And nothing against Trini Chambliss and some of these guys, but if you don't think you can elevate and win a national title at Ole Miss, which I lean probably not, even in the modern era, then I think that's where Lane Kiffin decides, like, all right, it's time to go win the big one. It's time to fulfill the promise, the prophecy. He was, I forget, some Barstool guy made the comparison, I think, that Lane Kiffin is Anakin Skywalker, right? He trained under the wise old one, Nick Saban, who Qui-Gon Jinn, who is now he's now passed away, right? And his older master Kirby is now ascendant. It's Obi-Wan, right? And Lane's the chosen one. He's Anakin Skywalker, and he's gone off in his own way, and he made a lot of mistakes. But now it's like the moment is arriving, and does he join Florida? Does he join the dark side? Does he seize power, or does he kind of just like stay where he is? And I think, knowing Lane's personality and how he go, like, I don't think he can pass it up, right? Because, and the one thing I was saying to you before the show is everybody likes Lane now. There was a time, a while ago, where everybody hated Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin was the most hateable guy in college football, and still a lot of people don't like him. But now that he's at Ole Miss, he's kind of not a huge threat to the big power brokers as much as people would think. People like him. He's fun. He's on all the shows. Everybody likes him. He's not a villain. He goes to Florida and starts putting together top 5 recruiting classes, which is very achievable at Florida. He starts, going off in the SEC, blowing teams out, blowing respected coaches out, which he can do with the way he coaches offense at the right talent. He's not going to be the lovable, like quirky, turn the mid-tier program into a contenders guy. He's going to be the villain again. And honestly, I can't wait for him to be the villain again.
Yeah. So you said something earlier about the blue chip ratio, and just so for people who are listening, the blue chip ratio is Bud Elliott the one who developed it, or is it CBS? Yeah. So basically, every year since 2013, if you fell inside the blue chip ratio, I think it's 50% or higher of your team or rosters composed of blue chips,
4 and 5 stars.
4 and 5 stars. Ever since 2013, you had to be one of those teams in order to win the national championship. In other words,
ever since the year 1999.
No, 2013. It's 2013. I looked it up. It is.
Who won? Florida State won in 2013, right?
I'm saying, whatever. Let's not worry about the year.
All right. I guess we count modern recruiting since 2013.
Okay.
Sure.
Whatever. But Ole Miss is not in the blue chip ratio. They haven't been.
I don't think they can get there.
Yeah, and that's the point. Guess who's in the blue chip ratio this year for 2025? Florida's already in there.
Yeah.
Okay. And so Billy was able to recruit. Lane's going to take that to the next level if he gets that job. And I think deep down, you're right. He likes it he likes it Ole Miss. He likes Oxford. There's so many good things going on there, but there's a ceiling there. And these guys are uber competitive. Don't you think? He looks across at Kirby, who he worked with at Alabama, and he goes, man, I'd love to be able to have that talent because I can go win a national title. And I think that's what's going to drive him in this decision. And these guys are alpha males. I think the only thing that's going to be a hang up in this is, can Florida wait through the playoff format? Are they going to be able to wait to that first?
I think if they get the nod, I think if they get the nod from Jimmy Sexton,
from Jimmy, that he's taking the
like
job,
Lane will do it. I think they'll just wait, and I think that we may figure that out if Florida doesn't make a move on anybody. It may become obvious that it's Lane.
That's going to be Lane's job. I think so. And so to me, I think this is, he's hinted at it before. It just feels like this is going to be
also. I think his daughter's graduating Ole Miss this year, so it's kind of a good time for the family to transition. His son will be leaving high school the next year, right?
No, he's a 28. Knox is a
28. Okay, well, they can go play high school in Gainesville.
Yeah. So, well, I don't know. The mom maybe who knows what all that is, but I just think this is the perfect fit. The people in Florida want him. He's the perfect fit, the kind of person that would. To me, I mean, again, there are other good coaches that could win at Florida. This is 1, 2, 3, 4 in their list. They're going all out for this.
Yeah.
And it would shock me if he doesn't end up there.
They will offer him any and everything that they want.
Yeah.
So, without reservation, they will give him the mega deal of all mega deals. And, just a word of warning. I don't see Lane not working out at any program, but we basically haven't had one of these mega deals where it's worked out for the program. So I don't know.
Well, Kirby's got a pretty good deal.
That's true.
Kirby got it early on.
You know what?
Too.
You're right. Yeah, right. That's true. But
So I mean, we're going to find out. I mean, once you get past Lane, you can make a case for a lot of different coaches for different reasons. Who knows what that could even look like?
Well, let me tell you who they're not going to go get. They're not going to go get a G5 guy.
No.
Even though Summerall would be great.
And
they're not going to go get James Franklin.
Yeah. James Franklin will not.
And so who does that leave you with? Fish?
I think that leaves you with Drinkwitz. I think would be a candidate. Fish is going to be there. Yeah. I think those are a couple guys.
And these are if Lane says no. If Lane says yes, it's his job.
Yeah, and gotta remember, Fish is a Florida alum. I think that would be somebody on their radar at that point. The other one, I think, don't discount if Lane says no. Jeff Brom, don't discount that. I know Brom's a Louisville grad, but when someone throws you,
man,
I get it.
He also doesn't recruit. He doesn't.
Well, he doesn't recruit Louisville. I'm just saying they want somebody that can score points that can win big games. And I'm just telling you, that. Don't let that shock you. He's number 2 in the odds board right now. If you look at the odds,
that's fine. He doesn't recruit at the level that you need to win at Florida, and I don't think they should hire him.
Listen, Bron, I've been in Gainesville. It's not a bad place to live, especially in the right neighborhood. So,
you know what? If you have $10 million a year, you can buy enough land to live anywhere. So,
yeah, exactly.
So that's not really going to be a problem.
I just don't want to be driving on Archer Road at 5 o'clock. Other than that, you're not so bad.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, anyway, that was the big news of the day. Florida did end up winning their game. Oh, you still there?
Yeah. I was going to say other coaching news. It looks like for now they're not moving on Mike Norvell at Florida State. They released a statement that we fully support our head coach and we will reassess at the end of the season. AKA, we got to pass the hat around a little more to get the donors to pony up some money. I don't know if they're going to try and renegotiate that buyout down. Mike Norvell's gone. It's just a matter of when they want to make the move. He's not coming back. That's a certainty. It's almost certainly also true for Hugh
still hear me?
Freeze. Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you all still hear me, Jake?
Yeah, your audio is a little delayed,
Jake,
but I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. It looks
We're
like
good.
I'm having some I'm gonna blame Amazon. So
Yeah.
Amazon Web
And so Hugh Freeze is also pretty much assured to be gone at this point as well.
Well, we don't know that. I mean, they could get,
There's
win
some
games, beat
chance
Vandy.
if he wins out, yeah, maybe. But
Let's not speculate on who
they
has
haven't
been
moved
fired.
on Hugh Freeze either. Jay Norvell, Colorado State did get fired. Other Norvell, if you
Yeah.
got fooled by the headline. But
Yeah. All right.
just the coaching search this year is going to be insane. The coaching carousel is going to be insane. The amount of jobs that are open are going to be insane. And a lot of fairly mediocre coaches are going to get big pay raises.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. We're going to spend a lot of time talking about that as we get closer to Thanksgiving and in early December, certainly. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about some games of the weekend. Which game do you want to hit up first?
Well, full disclosure, I was at the Baylor TCU rivalry game for what it felt like 7 hours and 3 lightning delays, actually. But so I missed a good chunk of these games. I caught some highlights, but I think we should start out with the noon game in Nashville, Tennessee, which was the LSU Tigers going against the Vanderbilt Commodores.
Yeah, and I had 5 screens up. So I was home this weekend, 5 screens going. I had my main screen on this one. I didn't have Baylor on the main screen.
No worries.
Yeah, this was an entertaining game. I'm telling you, it's almost like we thought. I mean, Vanderbilt just punched them in the mouth, and they were the better team. Diego Pavia was incredible. I thought it was a stupid to let LSU score that field goal to kind of give them a little life at the end of the second quarter to make the game closer at halftime. I thought that was kind of a little bit of a blunder. But, Diego Pavia, between rushing and throwing, he just does enough. And Brian, you were right. LSU's mid. I've been saying they've been mid all year. I said they were mid before the season began. LSU cannot run the ball. They cannot find anything. So they're depending way too much on Garrett Nussmeier. And even then, Garrett's just not effective. Whether he's hurt or not, I don't know. But their offense is dreadful.
It's hard to throw the ball when everyone knows you're going to throw because you can't run.
And Pavia rushed for 86 yards. He threw for another $160. I mean, they were the more physical team. They looked like if you'd have just swapped their jerseys, I would have said, man, that's just another solid LSU team. I mean, they looked like the LSU team of old. Brian Kelly's in trouble. I don't know what's going to happen. That buyout's huge. It's $58 million or so, $53 million. But they got a problem. They got an identity problem right now down there. Now they face Texas 8-4 this weekend. My guess is they might upset A&M. 7:00 game, Baton Rouge.
That could happen.
That's
night game in Baton Rouge.
I get weird feelings
things
about
have
that.
happened.
But it's clearly this was Diego Pavia even posed for the Heisman. To me, this was I wasn't unexpected. But now all of a sudden, Vandy, we got to take Vandy pretty seriously as not only SEC champion, but they got a kind of a roster that can make a playoff run.
They absolutely can make the playoff, and maybe even win a game in the playoff with the right matchup.
They could with the right matchup, yeah.
I think Vanderbilt certainly they've dialed up the Diego Pavia Heisman campaign. They've started putting out press releases and Heisman hashtags, and they're really putting money behind it. So. The only problem with that is you already lost to Ty Simpson. So that's kind of an issue with that. Maybe you get revenge in the SEC championship game. That could do it. Which is crazy to even be talking about. But if you watch the Alabama game and you watch this LSU game, Vanderbilt is right there with the best teams in the SEC. Like physically, they're not gimmicking their way to victory. They can block Alabama and LSU, and they do. They can run the ball against Alabama and LSU, and they do. Vanderbilt has a better rushing attack than Alabama or LSU. Both of them. They run the ball better than both of them.
The challenge is going to be if teams make them one-dimensional, make them throw the whole game. That's where you're going to
But nobody's been able to do that yet.
Yeah, well, Bama did a pretty good whipping on that second half of that game.
In the second half, yes. But, yeah.
And Reed, your question is Simpson's the favorite right now. Mendoza and Pavia are 2-3 right now. They're right up there. So anything could happen at this point. Simpson's not so far ahead that it's not possible.
Mendoza's Heisman race is going to make or break on the Ohio State game in the SEC in a Big Ten championship.
Yeah. I mean, if they go on and make it to the SEC, who knows what championship? Who knows what could happen there? So, Um, do you want to talk about the Baylor game? You want to go about over some more noon?
We'll
games?
go some other ones first.
Okay. Let me go to my noon slate here. I'm looking at my sheet. Let's see. That was a later game. Oh, Georgia Tech Duke. Yeah, I kind of had my eyes on. I was watching this one as well. Georgia Tech. They ended up winning. Duke really dominated this game the first half. I felt like Georgia Tech was kind of lucky to be in it. Matter of fact, the only real touchdown they had in the first half was a defensive fumble recovery on the 2-yard line. And, they ran it back for like 95 yards. Duke had a lot of mistakes the first half. I mean, it felt like Duke could have been up 17-0, 10-0, 20-7, whatever. They let Georgia Tech stay in it, and then Georgia Tech kind of put it on the second half. This gives me a little. I mean, I love. We're a big Haynes King podcast. We love Haynes King.
We are we no kings except Haynes King.
And not no kings. We're Haynes King. But I have a little concern with Georgia Tech in that you play with fire enough, like Miami, you're going to get burned. Mm-hmm. And this started out like kind of like we'll get to Virginia Wazoo later.
You kick the yellow jacket nest, you're going to get stung.
There you go. There's the better analogy. I was worried about Georgia Tech the first half. Watch them. Duke was really the better team. They came on the second half and did what they need to do. They ended up rushing for $171. Duke couldn't really do anything the third quarter. I mean, the second half. Darian Mintz threw for 373. He's a real deal. I just wonder, is Duke going to be able to keep him? I mean, I know he transferred in, but my goodness.
Dude,
guy would look so good on a lot of teams.
You think he'll look really good with the U on his helmet next year?
Yeah, the U. I mean, Oklahoma. I mean, well, material. There's a lot of teams. There's a lot of teams he look good on. So Georgia Tech keeps rolling. They are clearly, and I think the AP poll, they're close to 10th now.
I think, do we have to start talking about like what happens in the ACC championship playoff picture? Because it's starting to look more and more chaotic down the stretch here.
It is, but let's just wait to see all the upsets happen because I'm not convinced there's not going to be losses there.
Yeah, because here's the thing: Virginia and Georgia Tech have extreme, and Miami are extremely. They very easily could win out. All three of them. They're very extremely winnable. And the way the tiebreakers work. Even if Virginia loses once, that they will get in over Miami because they have the head-to-head win over Louisville, the common opponent. Because of that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Because of that, there's a scenario where you get 11-1 Georgia Tech, 11-1 Virginia in the ACC championship game, and 11-1 Miami gets left out. And if that happens, I think.
Don't forget SMU's undefeated in the conference.
Right. And if that happens, I think the Miami team could get into the playoff as an at-large, and then the ACC championship winner gets in. But there's also another scenario where like it's SMU or somebody. I think there's a real scenario here where we get two ACC teams in, and there's several different ways it could break down.
The SECSPN propaganda machine won't allow that to happen. You know better. And you're right.
I think the fact that Miami destroyed Florida is an SEC team. I think that will matter.
Well, Miami's also got good wins against Notre Dame. Miami, you got good wins against
Notre
USF.
Dame. Right.
USF. So yeah. That
they
Miami
have to
SMU
let it
game,
in the ACC champ. And if
they
Miami,
do have to let it.
Yeah.
So basically, you're going to get down to SMU will probably get eliminated if Miami beats them. Miami going to beat SMU, they're done. They're done at that point with 2 losses. I don't care what happens. They'd have to win the conference.
No, because think about it. Who are you letting in? 10-2 Miami, 10-2 Notre Dame.
10-2 Notre Dame. Come on, you know how ratings.
Miami beat them. Miami beat them head to head.
Come on, Jake. You've been around this game.
No. This is not. We're not doing this. We're not doing this.
Yeah.
Miami beat Notre Dame. If they're in a one-off for the last playoff spot, Miami's getting in. Miami has the brand.
You believe in unicorns too, don't you? And rainbows.
Miami has the brand to bring. You know what matters to these conferences and these TV programs? Ratings. Miami brings in ratings.
Yeah, and Notre Dame brings in money, man. I'm telling you, there's golden handshakes somewhere. There's dollar bills being shuffled around.
Head to head matters, and it's not.
You
Dude.
live in a world with leprechauns and unicorns. I'm telling you, man, there's
Look,
no way.
We live in a
they're
world that
both-
has rules, all right? And those rules have to be guarded by men with lawyers.
Now we're going a few good. We've gone off track tonight. All right. Yeah. The ACC could be, you're right. The point is the ACC could be chaos.
There could be a 2-team bit league for the ACC.
But I'm also not convinced there's not going to be more upsets in the ACC, and this thing's going to clear itself out. I mean, I don't trust.
That's
After
true.
watching that Virginia game, I'm not convinced that Virginia is going to get to the finish line. I love Virginia, and I hope they do. Man, that would be awesome. But that Wazoo game, they were dangerously close.
Yeah.
What was
You want to
the
talk
crazy
about
thing-
that game just real quick?
Okay, so let's get it. They go into the fourth quarter down 10. Okay, and I'm sitting and I watched that whole game, and I actually had that on my main screen, which I texted my boys. I'm like, "Hey, Virginia finally made it to the main screen with sound. That
They
doesn't
made
happen
it,
very often."
boys. The sound screen.
And Virginia played a great fourth quarter. I mean, they that 97-yard drive. I mean, they got back into the game, got within 3. Then they get the drive. What was it? 3 false starts in a row. Virginia crowd changed that game. They cost all, and I know it's Wazoo.
Sentence I never thought I would hear in my
It was
life.
nuts. So they get the turnover. They get the field goal. Then they kick off again. And this is the craziest thing. I have not, maybe someone else has seen it. I have not seen this. They kick the ball off. One guy does the fair catch. The other guy catches it and starts to run. Did you know that's a penalty and the ball is spotted at the 5-yard line?
I did not know. Wait, it's an automatic spot. It's not spot of the foul?
It's automatic spot at 5-yard line.
What?
I had no idea. I'm watching the broadcast going, what? Give the credit to the announcers. They knew it. One of them knew it right away. And I'm going, huh? I'm like, what a break. I'm like, because,
that feels like the 1-point safety kind of rule, like the thing that never happens. Like,
yeah, it was crazy. So now Virginia's got the ball at 5-yard line. Thinking, oh man, there's no time left. And it's under 3 minutes. What? Maybe the Who's can get a stop and get the ball back. No. Then there's another false start. It backs, or it was either false start or holding. I can't remember which. I think it was a false start. Moves them back half the distance. And then I'm thinking, this is getting kind of crazy. Then they get a safety, a walk-off safety to win the game.
oh, amazing.
Unbelievable. That was great. Great job, Who's. You got the Deep South Soldus rivalry, or the South Soldus rivalry coming up next weekend. I don't think that'll be much of North Carolina, but I do think, there could be potential slippages against Cal or Wake coming up if Virginia's not careful. But
Dude, Cal's
hey, man,
always feisty, man.
yeah, they are. So, but great Indian Who's. That was a fun game to watch. 22-20 Virginia. They just keep rolling along. And, hey, got to give them props, man. We talk about winners here. So,
Yeah.
All right.
All
Let's see. Let me go. I'm trying to think if there's any other good news. I'm looking at my slate here.
Do we want to talk about Baylor TC real quick?
Yeah, why don't you discuss that? I mean, I had it on, but it kept going on and on forever, and I finally had to cut away because I was tired of watching lightning delays.
All right. I've got something to say here.
That's shocking.
Yeah. What the heck is going on with Baylor? All right. Dave Aranda comes into the season with one of the most loaded offenses in the Big 12, the best passing attack in the entire country. You're a defensive genius. You coached the 2019 LSU defense. You coached those historic Wisconsin defenses. You're a defensive guy. You've got one of the best passing offenses in the entire country and a defensive genius as your head coach. And you've brought in guys to the transfer portal, and you've revamped the defense, and you come into this season, and you know what? You start with some losing games. That happens. You lost some close games against good teams. What the heck happened against TCU? The entire team looked like they stopped trying. It was ridiculous. They didn't try until the end of the fourth quarter, where they got an interception and almost have the most insane comeback you could have ever seen in your life, which didn't happen. But what I do not understand how a team with this much potential underachieves so much. And look, I've been on and off about Dave Aranda for a while. I've said I wish he showed more passion. I think the stoic thing is cool when you're winning and is awful when you're losing. You want your coach to get angry when you're losing. And I do think working the refs, by the way, is part of college football, just like working the umpire is for a manager in baseball. You got to let the ref hear it from time to time and point out things that the opponents are doing so that the ref can make that call. If you just are silent and never speak to the ref and are stoic the whole time, the other team is going to get that advantage on you. And in this game against TCU, I think that kind of showed, and as well the fact that Baylor didn't run the ball nearly well enough. And TCU just dropped back in a too high safety look and kept everything underneath and prevented what is a really talented passing attack. One of the best quarterbacks in the country, Sawyer Robertson, the number 1 tight end in the country, Michael Trigg, and a really great group of receivers. And they felt like a putt-putt offense. They couldn't move the ball. They had a couple explosive plays. And look, they scored 36 points. That should be enough to win a game. It's not all on the offense. The offense had some positives. But if you're in a shootout, you got to score enough points to win the game. And they didn't deliver in the key moments. And that one of those touchdowns was kind of after the game was already out of reach, right? The main thing here is the defense. How the heck did we not get any pressure on Josh Hoover? TCU's offensive line is not the greatest in the world. We should be able to get pressure on it. I don't know what the game plan was with TCU. I don't know what it was. Josh Hoover's a good quarterback. All credit to Sonny Dykes and all of them. But I'm out on Dave Aranda. It's time, man. He had a good run. Had a good year. 2021 was great. It's time to move on. We got to go bring in somebody else. Throw the bag at, I don't know, Kinney or Silverfield or something.
All right. Can I talk now? Now that you had your rant, I was able to check Instagram, Facebook, X, and my email. All right. While you were ranting there.
Rant's over.
Okay.
Spoke my
Here's
mind.
the problem. I don't think Dave Aranda is the problem. And let me tell you why. I think it's a talent issue on defense, honestly. I don't think you spent the money on the defense that you needed to at Baylor. I don't think there's enough players there to compete where you need to, given what some of the other teams have done. And honestly, to win a game against TCU, and we're going to see against, if y'all ever play Texas Tech, I just think they're better offensively. And you can't compete at that level. Oh, look what Auburn did. Look what Jackson Arnold did. You couldn't stop him at all. Jackson running the ball. There's just not enough. There's not enough bodies up in front, and that's a talent issue.
That's his job to get the talent.
Okay, it's his job plus whoever the general manager is, whoever it is, whatever.
It's also, by the way, it's also his job to engage the boosters. And I heard from a couple people that he is not engaging the boosters to a level to fundraise that you need to be doing.
All right, point number 2. Y'all are probably still going to go 9-3, 8-4, probably 7.
Win out to go 9-3.
Okay. Okay,
we play Cincinnati this weekend, who looks fantastic.
Okay, all right. Let's just say you go 8-4. Okay, still a good year.
I don't know that we'll go 8-4.
Okay.
Did you see the end of that game? There were players just like that.
Okay,
let me did not look good.
Let me point. Do you really given how they finished last year, and this year's not 5-7? Do you really want to go out in this year's coaching search and be part of it?
I don't want to.
No,
I don't want to.
No.
But now, I'm telling you, the fan base has quit.
Yeah, I don't know, Jake. I mean, you need to spend more money on the other side of the ball. First of all, you got Spavital, you've got some talent on the offense. Spend some money on the defensive side.
Yes, but it's the catch-22, right? It's like it's sometimes you just need. What does Bud Elliott say? Sometimes you just need to restart the clock to get the people believing again. And to spend the money, you're going to need someone to go motivate the boosters to spend the money. And I just don't think Dave Aranda is that guy.
Well, this isn't the year because everybody's job's opening.
I know it's not the year, but it's like, do we have another choice? Like, I don't know. I just don't lose Sawyer after this year. Like this was supposed to be the year for Baylor.
Yeah. Well, it's rough, I know, but don't write off this year yet. You could still go 9-3, and that would be a great year.
Yeah,
I mean, yes, you wasted an all-time great offense, but I mean, you could be LSU and have national championship aspirations and wasting Jaden Daniels' best years. I mean, come on, there's still. I hear you,
LSU
Jake.
Can flip it in a year. Baylor, it takes building.
I know, but I would not want to go to the market this year. So
I would throw the bag at Fran Brown or somebody like that.
Okay. All right, let's talk about a couple other games before we get. Well, let's go to the 3:30 window. Let's talk about Georgia Ole Miss. You were still fighting rain delays. Um, a game went about. I think as we thought. I think we thought it would be a close game. We thought Ole Miss would be competitive. We didn't think Georgia would blow them out. We thought Georgia would win. I think Georgia continues to amaze me on how bad their defense is. Um,
Yeah.
I think what's stunned me in the game the most is I think Gunnar Stockton continues to make progress. And I was pretty critical of him early on. I didn't think Georgia
Me
really
too.
trusted him early in the season. I think they're really beginning to trust him more. I think he's doing more. I think he's more confident. And I think he can do enough with this team they could win an SEC championship. They could win a playoff game. I still don't know. I think their defense is what's going to let them down to really be competitive on a national championship basis.
Yeah.
It's not the offense at this point. He does enough offensively with some limitations that they can win ball games, but they had to win in a shootout, and they did. Somehow they made the adjustments at halftime, and Ole Miss didn't. I mean, Ole Miss, they when it was outscored 17-0 in the fourth quarter. I mean, Kirby has built, and I'm not a big fan of Kirby Smart and what kind of how he approaches things, but they have built a roster there that just believes that no matter what happens, they can win ball games. And I think that was evident on Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, for the people in the chat, I didn't just mention Fran Brown out of thin air. He was on Matt Rule's staff at Baylor and was their top recruiter in building that team that eventually led up to in 2017 and 18. He was the top recruiter that built that 2019 Matt Rule team.
Fran ain't coming to Baylor, dude. Fran's going to go to a job like Florida State or Penn State or somewhere like that.
He's very strong Christian that there's a possibility that could be a connection there. And he did, like I said, he was on that Matt Rule staff, and it was 2 years at Baylor. And so that I didn't just pull that out of thin air. There is a connection there.
So the Georgia still has a little bit of a rough schedule ahead. Ole Miss schedule, in spite of losing the game, and we talked about this. We said Georgia needed to have that game. Ole Miss,
they did need to have it. Yeah.
Ole Miss, they could lose it and they'd still be okay. Ole Miss they got Oklahoma this week, and then they can kind of put on cruise control. They got a South Carolina, Citadel, Florida, Mississippi State. I mean, Ole Miss
is Oklahoma's favorite, aren't they?
Yes, they are. But even if they lost this one, they're in a good position. They could win 4 in a row to end the year and finish with 2 losses and probably make the playoff.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, they will have a good shot. I mean, they'll be favored in all 4 of those games. So, whereas Georgia needed that game more, and it looked like it at the end there. Georgia now 6-1 overall. Still got a tough road ahead. They've still got to play Texas. They still have to play Georgia Tech. And then, they've got to play Florida, and who knows what Florida team you're going to get. So it'll be interesting. But with 2 losses, they really couldn't afford with 1 loss, they really couldn't afford a second loss. So, So all in all, not a fun game to watch. A lot more offense you to traditionally expect in an SEC game. But
yeah.
Anyway,
I agree. I think Georgia getting into these shootouts is definitely an interesting switch up, and it kind of goes to being like how good of a coach Kirby is, that he can win in all these multiple ways. He is a good coach. He's kind of the villain, but he's a good coach. But I don't think Georgia has national title ceiling this year, and I agree with you. It's because their defense.
I don't think so either. Another game I was watching, the Michigan-Washington game. I was wrong on this one. I thought Washington could generate more offense. Turns out neither team could generate much offense until late in the game, and DeMond Williams just starts to chuck the ball around a little bit. But This was a hard watch early in the first window. This was really hard to watch, these 2 teams. Nothing was really going on there. I'll get to your question about SEC legit. Oh, I've got some facts for you here in a minute here. But, Michigan ended up winning 24-7. I think this was more of the fact that I think Michigan's defense won the game. I just don't think –
I think people underrate the Michigan's defense this year. I think they're still pretty solid, even though they've lost a lot of the high-end talent. They're still well coached. They're still a solid defense. And I think – they're not the greatest, but I think people are kind of writing their defense off for nothing.
Yeah, and really, Washington couldn't run the ball. This was a 7-7 game at half. It was almost unwatchable. It was a tough
I feel
game.
like Washington's a year away.
Yeah, and then the picks all came. A lot of those interceptions came when Washington was trying to push it in the fourth quarter, and that's where the game got out of hand. This game was closer than that 24-7 score. Bron, I don't think the SEC is legit. I mean, what was the stat I saw today?
Depends on what you mean by legit.
I mean, they are legit. They're good, but they're not getting five. They got 5 teams in the top 25 that have 2 losses. And yet the Big Ten's got 5 teams with 2 losses, and 2 of those are in the big top 25. Tell me what's the difference? I mean, I think Reed, you're right. They get marked up high in the preseason, so they get counted for beating these teams when they're already marked up high. Why is LSU? LSU does not have a win against a Power 4 conference opponent with a winning record, and yet they're still in the top 25. They have no business being in the top 25. If they had Illinois across their chest or any other school, Penn State, they wouldn't be in the top 25, but they're LSU, so they're still up there. It makes no sense whatsoever. But that's a whole nother podcast. That Jake's heard my rants. He sees my rants on the weekends. He gets mad at me for sending them. I send too many of them. I Big Ten Ed here. I'm just tired of it. So and yet I paid tuition. I paid tuition to 2 SEC schools. So
yeah. Wait,
I did.
I missed that. What do you mean you hit the 6-7?
Yes, I did. Threw that in there. Thanks for catching, Bron.
All right. I didn't guess that. All right. Do you want to talk third Saturday?
Well, yeah, let's go the game, the big upset in the Big 12. Texas Tech.
You want to talk upset? Okay. Yeah. So I watched some of this game. I did fall asleep on the couch after being tired.
Yeah, I had to text him at one point midway Saturday evening. Go, Jake, are you still alive?
I slacked because I got up super early for a tailgate, and then I was just sitting there under the little blanket on the couch and I just nodded off. But basically, from what I can tell, Texas Tech missed Baron Morton.
They did. Yeah.
They missed him a lot. He is that good. The Will Hammond showed some flaws that he did not show in the game against Utah. It's a little different when the defense has time to game plan for your skill set versus where you're thrust into the game and they weren't prepared for you. So I'll definitely lean Texas Tech probably wins this game with Baron Morton. I think Will Hammond had 1 interception. He wasn't horrible, but chat, clip that. I do think Arizona State, they're still they're a good team, man. People forget.
When you get a healthy Sam Leavitt healthy.
When Sam Leavitt's in there, he's a real difference maker.
And Tech couldn't cover Jordan Tyson. I mean, that was the issue. What was he at 10 catches for 10?
He's going to be a top 20 NFL pick probably.
Yeah, and this game was he was. And this game was on one of my screens. Every time I looked over, Tyson was catching the ball. And it was just a problem for them. Now, Texas, this game was kind of...
Did this have a crazy ending? Because I thought...
It did. It did. The last 4 minutes were insane. This game was kind of done, midway through the fourth. It was 19-7. I thought, okay, this is nuts. Texas Tech scored 2 touchdowns in the last 4 minutes to take the lead. And then Arizona State took the ball back and scored with 2 minutes to go. So it was a pretty wild ending.
Field rush in Arizona.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
Yeah, but this was. Listen, I mean, Texas Tech was probably not going to go undefeated. I think it's hard for any of these teams to go undefeated.
Well, if they had the starting quarterback, they might have.
Yeah, and I think you were dead on it. Hammond was not more. I think it might have been difference. And we talked about on Thursday night show or whenever we did it, Wednesday or Thursday last week, was that if Texas Tech was going to lose a game, I think we mentioned it. This might be the one they might lose. This was the one they were most likely to lose. So that may be it. They may go finish the rest of the season. Who knows? They still look pretty good. They just got, road games are hard, man. I mean, ask Alabama,
Yeah. The big one though, November 8th, BYU at Texas Tech.
Yeah.
That's going to be a big one in the Big 12. That'll be a ranked matchup. That's going to be a huge game.
Well, and if BYU could somehow pull that one out, boy, that would cause all kinds of chaos.
They'd probably be. I mean, BYU's in the cusp of the top 10 right now. Speaking of BYU, do you want to go there?
Yeah, I watched this game, but man, there were a lot of other games going on the Holy War. I
The
didn't
late night
watch.
slate had a lot of games this time.
Yeah, the night slate was just incredible. I mean, I had 5 screens up. I could not keep up with it all. I was
Yeah.
watching Auburn implode. Actually, I watched the least amount of game was Tennessee Alabama, but it became a blowout.
Yeah, that went
Yeah,
off the
I
main
thought.
screen quick.
What's that?
That went off the main screen quick.
It did. It did. It really wasn't on my. I didn't even ever had it on the main screen. I had it on one of my side screens. Yeah, I just thought. I thought BYU. I didn't have a lot of faith in BYU coming into the weekend. I thought
Me
Utah.
neither.
I thought Utah would be better on the lines of scrimmage, but BYU I thought really held up well.
Yeah, honestly, Bear Bachmeier, he was,
Yeah.
dude, he's pretty good. He's
He
not
is.
like gonna be an NFL guy, but he's the kind of dude that steps up and doesn't shrink under pressure and makes the plays you want to. 13 of 22, 59% completion, 166 yards, 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
Very serviceable college quarterback. I have to say BYU runs the ball really well.
Mhm.
We were like questioning if they could run the ball against Utah. Can they keep that up? Kalani Sitake, man, he's a good coach, dude. I think he has the potential to be BYU's Kyle Whittingham. And that he's just a dang good coach, and every year they're gonna have a good team and they're just gonna be competitive. And he could coach there for 20 more years. I don't know how old he is, but 15 more years. He's just a good football coach. They always play hard for him. There's never a quit factor. They're always going to have a tough defense, exciting offense. And I think for Utah's part, I think it's kind of the story of the season for Utah, which is underachieving on the talent that they have on the lines of scrimmage.
Well, yeah, and I'll start with it's simple. I think they missed on the quarterback. I don't think Napier. That's it.
That too.
I mean, they had 200 more yards than BYU. But they just Napier cannot make the throws he needs to make
in
when
the
it
clutch time when it's 3rd and 8 in 2 minutes to go. He doesn't have it.
He doesn't have it. I mean, they're fine as long as they're running the ball. They're fine when they've got a lead. I mean, then they can do the short stuff, but you need a quarterback back there sometimes. Everybody needs a quarterback to make a play, and I just don't think he's it. That's just a miss on Utah because it's a shame because I think they are wasting some talent there this year.
Yeah, I agree.
Boy, yeah, the night games were great. So we talked about Virginia. I watched the whole Auburn Missouri game. Man, that was quite a.
I didn't watch much of it because it's Auburn, Missouri. I was not that concerned.
Yeah, it was.
It was not that interesting to me. I'm gonna be honest. Missouri won.
Well, yeah. I mean, first of all, again, Auburn's defense played pretty well. I thought they kept Missouri's offense pretty well intact. What did Hardy only ran for 58 yards? I mean, Auburn was in this game. Nobody ever really got that far ahead. It was back and forth. Auburn just missed their chances. I mean, they just had opportunities, and you got to be better. You've got to be able to convert when you have opportunities, and they just couldn't do it. Again, it just feels like a broken record the last 2 years with Hugh Freeze. They can't convert when they have chances. They missed on the quarterback. They can't. There's something missing, and I'm sorry. It's starting to feel like maybe this isn't going to work out. And I just
really,
I know
what?
And I know we're talking about it. And they're one Arkansas loss away or Kentucky loss away from Hugh Freeze being gone. We may be talking about a different firing next week. It's just you can't keep missing on the quarterback.
He's already gone. He was already gone.
Maybe.
It's just a matter of time.
But we literally could talk about this game like we could any other Auburn loss the last 8 of them. They're all the same. They lose a close game. A couple of missed calls. I don't think the penalties did them in this time. I really didn't think the penalties made that much of a difference. This was just Auburn themselves making mistakes or not being able to convert on key plays.
Missing out on key plays, Auburn making mistakes. Man, that seemed familiar. That's just the story of their life, man. That's Hugh Freeze.
This was not on national. This was on ESPN or ESPN2 or SEC network. The big game was Tennessee, Alabama. And that was a butt whooping. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
That was,
37-20. That's the final score. It did not feel like that for most of the game. It felt like a much bigger blowout. Alabama put BTA, as they say. Um, and Ty Simpson is the bona fide Heisman favorite at this point. He was fantastic. I will say Joey Aguilar was not horrible, but it's just pretty clear that Tennessee is not as talented as Alabama on offense or on defense. I will say, though, that Alabama actually improved compared to what I've seen previously. They got pressure on Aguilar, and we had been critiquing Alabama's pass rush for quite a while. We're like, they're not getting pressure on anybody. They don't have the pass rush. They don't have the dudes in the D-line. They pressured Aguilar. And that's something that they've improved through this season. It's good to see them, getting there with Alabama. And if they could start getting a pass rush, look out, man, because that's going to be trouble for teams.
Yeah. This game, I mean, Alabama was clearly in charge, but Tennessee was keeping it close. You get down right at half, 8 seconds to go in the half. Tennessee has the ball, at the 3-yard line or whatever, and they go to try to throw the ball. They go to throw that out on that sideline to go in the end zone. And this is where Aguilar can't drive the ball enough. And
not enough speed on that one.
Not enough power, energy right through it. And the Bama back just cuts it short and runs it and returns it 99 yards for touchdown. All of a sudden, instead of 16-14, it's 23-7. And the look, I mean, the best part of that was to see the look on the Tennessee Volunteer faces. I mean, it's 8 seconds to go. He's run down the field. Time has expired, and he's run into the end zone. And then the guy couldn't make the tackle. The one Tennessee guy that couldn't make the tackle. Because you tackle him, the clock's over. It's still 16-7. And the Tennessee fans, it looks like the blood had just left them. It was great. Because I really don't like either team.
Okay, all right.
But,
jeez.
I know.
Okay.
It was so yeah. Alabama's navigated a difficult stretch. They're going to go to South Carolina this weekend, which is just a beaten up South Carolina team.
They will kill South Carolina.
I think we're getting to the point where Alabama feels solidly in the playoff no matter what happens.
Are we going to get a Beamer to Tech transfer here at some point? Because
he's still got a big buyout at South Carolina.
Right, but it's not a buyout if he leaves.
Yeah, but I mean, do you walk away from that much money?
If you think you're losing, if you don't see if you don't see this getting better next year, and I don't really see how.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough walk because yes, you could leave, but
they'll give you 8 years of runway at Virginia Tech.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I think there's a possibility there. I just don't know, and I don't know if he wants to go back there for.
I don't know. I don't know the relationship between him and that administration. I don't know how that.
Oh, they would open his arms, but it's just. I don't know. That's just going to be tough. I don't know if you're him, do you want to go back? Because then there's a lot of pressure on you there. And we talked about how difficult that job is. I know they're going to throw money at it. But in the ACC, you look at the problems we're having, maybe just to get a second team in the playoff, with teams that are better resourced like SMU, Louisville, Miami, Clemson, Florida State. I mean, they're trying to chip away at that, and they're already 2 or 3, 4 years behind them. That's tough.
Yeah, well, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, maybe so. Let's talk about Notre Dame, USC. Dang it, I picked USC plus 9.5. Can't you get a cheap field goal at the end to give me
9.5?
Jeez, all I'm talking about. What does Vegas know?
Man, all the dad was right darlings lost today. Nebraska, USC.
Yeah, and at one point I figured when they couldn't stop Jeremiah Love, I just figured, okay, can he at least get to 9.5? And I was feeling pretty good.
We were waiting for Jeremiah Love to reveal himself this year. It kind of felt like he was sleeping through the first half of the season. He arrived today, man.
Yeah, well, he was my preseason pick for Heisman Trophy, and he could still get there because he could roll up some yards here in the next month and a half.
He's not going to have the marquee.
He was the difference in the game. Well, I mean, there's two differences. One, they couldn't stop him. I mean, USC's defense.
He was unstoppable.
And that was the problem with USC is they couldn't stop him. And of course, when you're running the ball, you're controlling the clock, and that was the problem. It wasn't that USC couldn't score against Notre Dame; it was just they couldn't stop Notre Dame. I don't think this is a reflection of how bad. I mean, Maeva threw 2 picks. I think the other problem was they ran that stupid. They were still in this game, and they ran that stupid trick play. Wide receiver just going to throw. It was the end around.
4th down. What was that?
No, I don't think it was 4th down. I still think it was 3rd down. They were running it around, and the wide receiver's going to throw it, and he's holding the ball like it's loose. Instead, he fumbles it, and that kind of did
I'm not talking
him
about
in.
that. I was talking about the 4th down play call where they run out to the side instead of up the middle.
Oh, yeah, that too. But, yeah, so, I mean, I thought there were a couple of bonehead plays here that kind of hurt USC. If you put them on a neutral field, I'd like to see them again. I think
Not
maybe
in the rain.
Not in the rain. Yeah. The weather really impacted this game. It was pouring in this game. Absolutely pouring. So I wonder if that
was
hurt.
the most like Notre Dame game of all time. They just smashed in the face of the running back in the rain in Notre Dame Stadium. And like it was just one of those games. Honestly, kudos to Marcus Freeman for getting the win. He's still a good coach. He hasn't lost that. He's that guy. Notre Dame very much alive for the playoff race. I don't know if they won.
Alive. They just punched their ticket.
Well, they got to win out.
Yeah. Have you seen their schedule?
Okay. No, this Notre Dame team lost to NIU last year. You're telling me they can't lose to Pitt with that new quarterback?
Yeah, they're not losing to Pitt with that new quarterback.
I'm not ruling anything with that because we've seen Marcus Freeman lose to teams he shouldn't before. So you can't tell me it's not possible that they lose out. So they have to win out. But they're set up in a good spot for the playoff race. USC, are they pretty much out of it now?
They're not out of it. I mean,
they're 5-2, but who's their remaining schedule?
Well, okay, they get Nebraska this week, so that becomes a must win. Okay, that's at Nebraska. That's going to be a tough game. Then they get Northwestern Iowa. Those should be wins.
Yeah.
If they beat Nebraska, then it's all going to come out of the Oregon game.
You basically have to beat Oregon. You have to beat UCLA.
Yeah, and if they do that, I think they're in. I mean,
right? But I just are you giving them Oregon? Because I don't think I am.
I don't know, but I mean, let's be realistic about Oregon. Their schedule. I mean, their wins aren't that. I mean, they're scoring points.
Right, but let's also be realistic about Oregon. That Dante Moore is the highest graded quarterback in the country, like ratings wise. Like,
I understand, but what I'm saying,
Dante Moore is him.
I think USC has played a tougher schedule than Oregon.
There's an argument to that. I wouldn't disagree.
They beat Michigan. I mean, who's Oregon's best win? You tell me who that is.
I don't discount that Penn State team yet that much because they hadn't quit yet, and that was still a nasty Penn State defense that was trying, and it's a talented team. And then they started to quit. So I still give them a lot of credit for that Penn State win.
Okay. I'm just saying, I don't think the gap is as wide as you think. I'm not saying they're going to beat Oregon, but I think that game could get interesting, especially if it comes down to,
it's at Oregon though. Autzon's a tough
Oregon.
place.
I hear you, but I'm just saying if they beat Nebraska, I think we're setting ourselves up for that week.
Yeah. Speaking of Nebraska, man.
We haven't got to the Friday night games. Yeah. Let's talk about that one. Boy, Nebraska. What are you doing?
They got Iowa is what they did.
Yeah.
And this is not Iowa, it's Minnesota, but they got Iowa.
That was terrible. I was watching that game too.
Yeah, I had that on the side screen because our main screen was the game that we'll get to in a second. So PJ Fleck, man, he's still around. Every year we're kind of like, hey, is he gonna be around? He's still around. He's still kicking. He wins games, man. He's just a good ball. He's a good ball coach. That's all you got to say. They run the ball really well. They play good defense. And they knock off some teams every year and they win a bunch of games. So you know what? I'm off the PJ Fleck hate train. I'm with him as long as he's willing to have me on the boat that we're rowing. So
now Nebraska, they got 2 losses, but their schedule is very manageable the rest of the way.
Who's their schedule?
No Indiana, no Ohio State, no Oregon.
Yeah, they're gonna lose to USC. They might lose to UCLA. They could lose to Iowa.
I understand they could. I'm just saying there's nobody out there. There's none of the top. The 3 big dogs are off their schedule.
They have to win out.
If they win out,
3-loss Nebraska is not making the playoff.
I'm going to tell you right now, there's going to be 4 teams from the Big Ten that are going to make it.
And none of them are going to have 3 losses.
No, but ones that have 2 losses are going to make it.
Right, but I don't know. I don't see it.
You seem to forget who runs the sport. It's the Big Ten and the SEC. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you're a 2-loss team in either one of those conferences, you're going to be in the playoff over a 2-loss ACC or 2-loss Big 12 team. I'm telling you, this is the way it's going to work.
I am not disagreeing with the premise of what you're saying. I'm disagreeing with the fact that do you think Nebraska can get 2 losses?
Nebraska's already got 2 losses. They went out.
They're going to get a 3rd loss, though.
They might, but don't count any team that's still got 2 losses in the Big Ten is not out.
They lost to Minnesota. I'm counting them out.
All right. Hey, mark it. Reed, you can be right. You can keep the receipts, Reed. Mark it.
Yeah, if Nebraska will not be in the playoff, you can put that down. You can take it to the bench.
I'm just saying, if they run, they're scared. Again, they don't face any of these other people. They don't face any of them. It's a manageable schedule.
Whose offense is better, Nebraska's or UCLA's?
I don't know at this point.
Right. So they got to play UCLA.
I'm not telling you they're going to. I just think it's very, very manageable because you're avoiding the big 3.
It's doable. I don't know about manageable.
All right, let's get to the one game that happened Friday night that I can't explain.
Oh, mamma mia. Mario, what are you doing? What are you doing, dog?
So how did Miami lose the ability to run the ball? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then Carson Beck decided you're going to get one of these Nacho Man. All right, Luke's got the receipts. We got Nacho Man.
Luke with the receipts. Always.
Right. So Carson Beck, you're pretty much guaranteed to have one of these games a year, aren't you? Well, we had it.
Well, yeah. And so Carson Beck, welcome back. It's been a while. We've missed you.
The last one wasn't on his then. The last one was on the receiver.
You're right.
I do think that. But
there were also a couple drops in this game. So
yeah.
But
Miami struggled.
He can't play in the rain, can he?
Yeah, I guess they struggled running the ball. Carson Beck threw 4 interceptions, and you're still in the game at the end. I mean, we doxed. Man. I'm so sorry.
Yo, my bad. My bad.
Nacho Man, I'm sorry.
I didn't even realize. My bad. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry about that.
Okay, I had no way of knowing which hobby it was. No,
I'm so sorry. Oh, man, I've had quite a show tonight. So
dang, he's been in the chat for a while. That's kept it a secret a long time.
I guess so, man.
I didn't realize we hadn't doxed him yet. Okay.
Oh man. So anyway,
all right.
We'll go back and edit this show, Jake. Edit that one out. So
yeah. We'll.
Yeah. So this was a Jeff Brom special. First of all, these Friday night games, if I'm a coach, I said this on the show last week, you don't schedule Friday night games, man. I avoid these at all costs going forward.
Yeah. I think we just continue to forget that Jeff Brom is Himothy when he's playing a top 10 team. So I think from now on, whenever Jeff Brom is playing a good team, I'm going to just be picking Jeff Brom because it seems like every time that this happens, he just continues to prove people wrong. And he is such a good in-game coach. Louisville and Miami do not have comparable talent rosters. And he just out-schemed the heck out of this. They started off straight up 2 scoring drives, touchdowns, bang, bang, got out to a lead. And I think we've kind of seen the possible playbook on Miami. They're not comfortable playing from behind.
Well, what team is really? I mean, not a lot of teams are.
Well, some teams are. I think, Tennessee is one of those.
I think they're not comfortable when your quarterback throws 4 interceptions. I think that's the problem.
There's that too.
I mean, I will give them credit because they got down 14-0, then they fought back in this game. And they got down 24-13, and they still, then they got the
But
fumble.
they game scripted them into a bad situation.
They did, absolutely. And Brom is a great coach. I absolutely believe that. And I think it was a dangerous game, and they fell for the trap. I just think maybe, these teams are not going to go 12-0, 13-0, 16-0. It's just rare. They got their one game bet out of the system, I think. It doesn't take me away from thinking they still got one of the best offensive and defensive lines in the country.
Right. I do think you have to consider, and this is kind of a stretch for Jeff Brom because he does seem to sometimes lose games to teams he shouldn't. But could Louisville make a run at the ACC? Because their only loss is to Virginia, and their reigning schedule is Boston College, Virginia Tech, Cal, Clemson, at SMU, and Kentucky. The only team there that you're like is really tough is SMU, right? Maybe Clemson, depending on how the Clemson's mood that day, right? So
yeah.
There's a real, you can't count out Louisville in the ACC title race, in my opinion.
No, you can't count them out. I mean, again, this ACC title race is far from open. I think you got to think more about Miami now. Like, can they rebound effectively? Their schedule gets incredibly easy at this point. Are they? Can they?
At this point, you should just be able to line up your big dudes and just whoop people at the lines of scrimmage.
Yeah, no more mistakes. Miami, there was your mulligan. Assuming you went out, you've probably got with the wins you have on your schedule. No matter what happens in the ACC, you should either be in the championship game, or even if you don't, I still think you've got a pretty good resume at 11-1 to maybe qualify. So just go out and win. That's what you have to do.
And can we give some flowers to Miller Moss for a second? Because he was fantastic in this game.
Yeah,
and he was also fantastic at avoiding pressure. And I think Louisville realized that they cannot block Ruben Bain and Hakeem Mesidor, right?
No.
So what they did is they just got the ball out immediately. There were screen passes, there were underneath throws, there were crossing routes. I don't know the exact stats of this, but I just tell from watching that game, Miller Moss got the ball out very quickly on almost every single play. He was not hanging out in the backfield waiting to get wrecked by Ruben Bain. And I think that's good game planning. That's just good game planning by Jeff Brom, being like, I recognize our strengths and weaknesses, and we're going to, work around that. He did a good job.
Absolutely. All right, I know we're going long here, so we probably got to finish this up. Two other games real quick. Florida State lost to Stanford. It's getting bad for Mike Norvell in Tallahassee.
Yeah, we already talked about him, but I think they're moving on from him after the season when they get some money.
That's a big buyout too. It's in the $50 million range. That's tough.
Yeah.
And then
Texas, Kentucky.
Oh yeah. Lord have mercy. Kentucky ran the same play from the 1 yard line twice in a row. They thought they could get it the second time. I mean, Kentucky should have won this game. I mean, it was ridiculous.
Texas is not a good football team.
Yeah, and it's not all. And I'm convinced it's not all Arch Manning's fault at this point. I think Arch Manning's not great, but their line can't protect anybody. They couldn't protect. I don't care. You could put Peyton Manning back there, and they couldn't protect him.
Are you ready for a hot take? A very spicy take.
Caldwell should be playing.
Steve Sarkisian is Jimbo Fisher.
Oh, I don't know about that,
dude.
Yeah.
I'm never going to give up play calling. Play calling is what made me a good head coach. He was a good play caller at one point. Is he still that guy on offense? He recruits really well. He's at a big Texas school, lots of money, good manager, Saban tree. Kind of underperforming with the talent he has. I think there's a lot of similarities you can start drawing here.
But Texas had two pretty good years leading up to this. I think they just
and Jimbo had some good years.
Jimbo didn't have this many good years at A&M.
No, he hadn't at Florida State though.
But Texas stacked pretty good years back to back here, and I think the issue with this year's team was they had to replace a lot of guys on offensive line. They didn't go in the portal. They thought they had the talent on the roster, and they clearly don't. And it's killing them. It's killing them every single game. Arch is running for his life. They can't run the ball. I mean, that is the problem with this team. They can't
don't have
score.
the defensive line they had last year either.
No, but most teams aren't scoring a lot of points. If you look back, most teams aren't being. So it's not the defense isn't a problem in Texas. It's the offense this year, and I don't even blame it on Sark. They do not have any. This is a terrible offensive line.
Yeah, I also don't think the play calling has adjusted.
Probably so. They need to figure something out.
Maybe still trying to call these long developing plays where you need blocking on the to get these long downfield passing explosives, and they don't have the blocking to be able to get those plays. And I think it's your job as play caller to make those adjustments.
Yeah,
like Jeff Brom did when he realized, in this game against Louisville, he made the adjustments.
Yeah. All right, we're going an hour and 12. We probably have to wrap this up. The only thing we need to say.
Well, we had it's like an 8-minute intro. So
Oh,
we're
did
only
we?
at-
Okay. So we're
Yeah,
still
yeah.
good. We always try to keep this thing to an hour so that we don't bore people to death. The best team in the country just keeps rolling. I mean, did you? I
Ohio
don't know if
State.
you did. I watched this game and I eventually moved off the screen because it got so bad. I know Wisconsin's terrible. Julian Sayin started off the game like 11 for 11. He was throwing 40-yard darts down the field. I mean, this is. I'm having fun watching all these games, and it's crazy who's going to make the playoff.
And
we're
they're all going
going
to lose to Ohio State.
And Ohio State's going to win the national championship again. I mean,
that is the best secondary I've seen since 2011 Alabama.
Nobody can score on this team. They can throw. Yeah, they run the ball, and then literally when they decide, hey, we're going to throw it to Tate, we're going to throw it to Smith, and we're just going to chuck it. I mean, when I say they're throwing it with confidence, like how you want a quarterback to step back, step into the throw, and throw it. I mean, Tate made a catch in the middle of traffic and was like, Saying's like, I'm going to throw it there because I know my man's going to get it. I'm like,
yeah.
I think everybody's playing for second place, but we're going to enjoy the ride.
It looks like they're playing on rookie mode. Like
they
in
are.
Madden.
It's crazy. Maybe they lose in the playoffs. Maybe I'm seeing something different, but I don't.
Maybe Miami could beat them. Maybe with pass rush. Like maybe that's like. I
don't know. Texas A&M, Indiana.
Maybe Texas A&M, maybe Indiana. But again, it's like. I just don't think anyone can pass on that secondary. I'm serious. Caleb Downs teleports over the field. Those corners are exceptional. Literally, I'm not joking. I think that's the best secondary I've seen since 2011 Alabama.
Yeah, they're good.
And I was 10 years old when I watched that. When I was watching that
they're
team,
really, really good. And
they remind me of like the Legion of Boom in the NFL. Like nobody passes the ball on them.
I mean, they've given up 7 points, 0, 9, 6, 3, 16, and 0. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, and
this is one of the best defenses in a long time.
And they've got left Penn State, Purdue, UCLA, Rutgers, and then Michigan.
This is like Georgia, Michigan, Alabama of old defense.
Yeah.
And they don't even like the pass rushers are good, but they're not even like blow up the game good.
No. This is, again, I don't want to sound,
fatalistic.
And I don't want to say the season's not worth it to watch because you never know. And you never know what happened in one game.
Right. A one-game scenario, a quarterback just goes off. Things can happen, right? We've seen crazy things happen in one-game scenarios.
And particularly in a playoff where you got to do it 2 or 3 times in a row.
You have more one games, right?
Oh my goodness. They're a wagon right now. And not just because they can score, but just both sides of the ball look really strong. So
yeah.
All right.
Anything else you want to hit? A&M in a barn burner with Arkansas.
There was a crazy game. Memphis UAB was a crazy finish.
UAB won that, right?
They did. In the last minute took like 40 minutes. It seemed like Memphis scored twice or almost scored, and they kept having to review things. Crazy ending, but good for Memphis.
SMU beat Clemson, still undefeated in the ACC.
Yeah.
Boise State beat UNLV, so Mountain West is wide open.
Yeah. It's all kinds of. It was a crazy week, great weekend. It was a great weekend to sit and watch all the screens. I was actually exhausted by the time all the games went off. So
Houston is they're still undefeated in the Big 12. Yeah,
quietly. Yeah, I thought they've won.
They have one loss. Houston has one loss, but they lost Texas Tech, but they're sneakily putting together a good season.
Yeah, Willie Fritz has done a good job there this year. So
yeah.
All right. Wednesday night.
Iowa beat Penn State. Penn State lost again.
Yeah. Not a surprise. Jake, Wednesday or Thursday night? Which one are we doing?
I'm thinking probably Wednesday night.
Yeah, that's better
TBD.
for me.
Yeah,
Wednesday's better for me. So,
okay.
All right. Good. We'll plan on being there Wednesday. To go over this week. It's an interesting schedule this week. South Oldest rivalry will be fun to watch.
All the G5 teams are bad this year. That's because all the G5 luck got squished into Vanderbilt this year. So all the G5 magic got pushed into Vanderbilt, and so they're representing the G5 in the SEC.
Yeah. So, all right, good deal. Well, we'll see you later.
Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Make sure to like and subscribe, and follow the show on all the socials. I'm going to be better about putting out more content, more clips and stuff. So
it's his fault.
Yeah, it's the intern's fault. All right. But thank you so much for watching, and good night.
Good night.